Have you ever wondered why some people are always ready to help others, always kind, always giving, yet somehow they end up getting hurt the most? Why is it that the ones who say no are respected, while the ones who always say sure are taken for granted? And the hardest part is, when you realize the kinder you are, the easier it is for people to take more from you. We're taught from a young age, be a good person, help others, be kind, and it will come back to you. But reality doesn't work that way. Out there's an unspoken rule no one talks about. Kindness doesn't automatically create respect. In many cases, it creates the opposite: dependence, exploitation, and sometimes even disrespect. So the problem isn't that you're too nice. It's how the world interprets that kindness. Example 1. The person who always helps becomes the one who is expected to help. In any group, there's always someone like this: the one who takes on extra work when others are busy, the one who steps in when no one else wants to, the one who never says no. At first, they're appreciated, but after a while, that help is no longer special. It becomes expected. And the day they finally say no, no one thinks, maybe they need a break too. Instead, the reaction is, wait, why aren't they helping today? Which means you're no longer valued for being kind. You're judged the moment you stop. Example 2. The person who always agrees is often seen as easy to control. It's the same in personal relationships. Someone who is always accommodating, non-confrontational, avoiding conflict. At first, they seem easygoing, but in behavioral psychology, the human brain tends to judge someone's value based on whether they have boundaries, and someone without clear boundaries is often interpreted as they won't react strongly. I can push a little further, and that little, repeated over time, becomes exploitation. Example 3. Kind people often avoid conflict, and that becomes their weakness. Here's an uncomfortable truth: kind people don't like disappointing others. They're afraid of being disliked, being judged, being seen as selfish. So they choose to stay silent, go along with it, or sacrifice themselves. But what they don't realize is that silence is teaching others how to treat them. If you don't react when your boundaries are crossed, people will assume it must be okay. So what's really happening? It's not that the world hates kind people. It's that the world responds to the signals you send. Look a little deeper. When you always say, okay, you're sending a signal: I'm willing to prioritize you over myself. When you always give in, you're saying, my boundaries can be moved. When you stay silent in the face of unfair treatment, you're unconsciously teaching others this is acceptable. And people learn very quickly from those signals. Here's an important truth few people talk about. People don't just respect kindness, they respect kindness with boundaries. Without boundaries, kindness is often seen as weakness, dependence, or worse, something easy to exploit. So the problem isn't that you're too kind. The problem is you're kind, but you don't protect your value. You give without being selective. You help without limits. You give in without conditions. And over time, you're no longer seen as a good person. You become someone people can always ask for more. Here's another perspective, and it's important. Kind people often believe, if I give enough, people will understand and appreciate me. But in reality, people don't judge you by what you sacrifice. They judge you by what you tolerate. And if you tolerate being treated poorly, that becomes the new standard. So what's the solution? Is it to stop being kind? Become cold? Live more selfishly? No. It's about redefining what it means to be kind. A truly kind person is not someone who gives everything. It's someone who knows how to help, but also knows how to say no, knows how to be kind, but has clear boundaries, knows how to care for others. Without abandoning themselves, you're not being taken advantage of because you're kind. You're being taken advantage of because you haven't learned how to protect that kindness. And when you start to say no when needed, step back when your limits are crossed, and value yourself as much as you value others, something interesting happens. You don't lose your kindness. You only lose the people who used to take advantage of it. And maybe that's not a loss. It's a filter.